Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Monday morning. Want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. Got a word for you. Tap in. Happy Monday, guys. So I want to talk to you guys about 10 things that most likely you may, all caps, may be required to work on this season. So many people are in a season where they are expecting blessings, you're expecting breakthrough. I think it's important to be very expecting currently in this season, but you definitely know where you are. So get in where you fit in. Tap in. All right, let's start, guys. No particular order here. Number one, you're going to have to start really getting balanced, right? Operating from a place of order. You know, a lot of times, especially women, not all, and even some men, we are just great at multitasking. Like, I am literally the epitome of a great multitasker. I can be doing 1,000 things at one time, literally. I get that from my mom. Like, I've watched my mom, being a child, doing 30 things at one time, cooking, washing clothes, on the phone, sweeping, everything at once. So that truly has conditioned me to just multitask. And again, I think it's a beautiful thing, right? But in this season, it has to be about order. What does God need you to do now, this moment, right? Not have 50 boxes open at one time. So make sure you are really working on balance. What's important in your life, that's work, that's family, that's purpose, calling. So just finding a great balance and not over always multitasking your things. Number two, healthy relationships. Be expecting healthy relationships. In this season, you need healthy relationships, just not relationships. We all can get relationships easily, right? But healthy, wholesome relationships, partnerships, kingdom partners. These are the individuals who are sent from God. Mind you, you will have thousands of people trying to attach themselves to you for different reasons, but you need healthy, wholesome, God-ordained relationships. Number three, patience, 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 patience. You are going to need patience in this season because doors are opening, because we're in due season. You're going to hit some unexpected delays for different reasons, right? Satan may be somewhere near playing up with it because he don't want you to have it, as well as God is strategic. So certain things may pop up that you don't even know about. So he's going to have to slow you down for a moment to give you a strategic way to move, to shift. Or he may need to give you some more insight because something could be going on the other side that could be new. So now he needs to give you more insight. So you're going to have to be patient because you're going to get so annoyed because it seems like, well, I just got the green light. So why am I at a red light? Right? So you're going to have patience. A lot of you, like myself, God have really already, not perfect here, but so much better. God have already worked on your patience in prior seasons by different ways. The journey alone will eventually teach you patience. It took me about 15 years to learn patience, and I still struggle, and I may always have a limp in that area, but I'm so much better. I think God kind of leave things within us so we can always depend on Him. Nobody has it all together. Nobody has it all together. If you're perfect, comment and let me know. Let me know if you have it 100% all together. You have no issues. You have no flaws. You have absolutely nothing. You're absolutely perfect. Please expose yourself. What is your name, ma'am, sir? Number four, a changed mindset. A changed mindset. Again, so many of us have been doing things our way for so long, right? To the point that we don't even realize that we're wanting to do it our way. We still have these mindsets that we think people should be a certain way, people should do this, people should do that, or we can get ahead of God and don't even invite Him in. We're moving along about what we want to do, and then when we get caught up in some quicksand, then we go back and ask God for help. Right? So we have to change our mindsets to understand that it's not His will. It's not our will, it's His will. right? Mindsets are going to have to change in just some of the vices that you have, some of the characteristics that you have. Like, we have to understand that God will not open certain doors until we become more like Christ, right? Not perfect, but more like Christ. That's loving, that's patience, that's kind, that's giving, etc., 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 etc. But some people are so stuck and set on their ways. It's almost like, well, I've been doing this all my life. I ain't going to change. Okay, well, don't change. That's why you're stuck where you are. Number 5, gotta be vigilant. You have to be very vigilant, especially when it comes down to people, right? You have to be wise and make sure you are not leaving any cracks, especially for narcissists. If you leave a crack for certain individuals, they're going to creep their way back in, and before you know it, all hell is breaking loose, and you're trying to figure out what has happened, right? I was at peace, like everything was on tap. Like, what has happened? You left the crack somewhere, and the wrong spirit got into your camp, caused havoc, and now you're back to warfare when really you should be processing along. Number 6, slow walk people. Slow walk people. Slow walk people. Stop allowing every single person to attach themselves to you. Now, I was telling a friend of mine this the other day, God is really like doing some great things in her life and opening some major doors that she's been working on. But there are people, when you see it, right? Well, not anybody, but I could see it, and I share this with her. You can tell there are people who are attaching themselves to her just because she has a great heart, just because she may struggle with saying no, just because they see that God is really moving swiftly and a pace of acceleration in her life. Now, all of a sudden, these are not even people who like even know her or even really don't care about her or her mission, but they're just trying to get within her life for clout or just for whatever. And so I was telling her, sis, we got to be so careful, because one reason why God allowed things to take so long is because he's processing us, right? Our thinking, etc. You got to be careful. And this is for myself and for you as well. Like just anybody. When God starts to open certain doors, you're going to have a lot of people start wanting to jump on your bandwagon, start wanting to just attach themselves to you. They're pulling from you, and you got to be careful, because some of these individuals are not individuals who God want you to get behind. And so you can have a conviction where God will say, no, that ain't it, right? But when you're still operating from that people-pleasing seed, that seed of a lack of confidence, etc., that rejection, abandonment seed, you don't want anybody to dislike you or side-eye you because you can't really get behind them, etc., you got to be so very careful there. Because it's almost like God is saying, well, this is why it took you 39 years, right? You were crying to get out of isolation or the dry season, telling me you're ready. This is why you're in those seasons so long, because I already know what's going to happen when that door opens. And if I don't prepare you accordingly, right, it's not going to even be a blessing. It's going to be a burden, because you don't know how to say no. You're just attaching yourself or allowing everyone to attach themselves from you. They're constantly pulling from you. The higher God takes you up, the more pressure. The higher God takes you up in whatever way, the more pressure. So you're going to have to get to the point where you slow walk people. Everybody is not for you. In fact, most people aren't for you. But you have to know this, and you can't know that until you slow walk people and don't let people just rush themselves or thrust themselves into your life. You got to be so careful there. Seriously. And with that, test the spirit, right? Discernment, right? I'm friendly with a lot of people. I'm just naturally a friendly, bubbly person. Unless someone pissed me off, then we're on a whole nother level, right? But I'm naturally a bubbly, great person. But I'm testing your spirit. I can be in your face showing all teeth. Trust me. But I already feel your spirit. I'm an empath, right? I have the gift of discernment, thank God. So just because I smile, just because I respond, just because I see your spirit. Test the spirit, folks. Also stop allowing everyone into your personal space. You guys know I'm big on that. Privacy is key. Privacy is key. So that's number 6. Number 7. Let go the idea of perfection. The idea of perfection will keep a lot of people stuck because you feel like you can't take that leap, you can't take that step until you have perfected something in certain areas. Now, of course, you want to polish, right? You want to have the spirit of excellence, but some people are conditioned to think that they have to be perfect before they can take a step, before God can use them. You will be sitting there until Jesus come and get you because nobody is perfect. I don't care what it looks like. You're seeing people highlights, right? No one is perfect. So let go that idea that you have to be perfect before God can use you, or you can make a step. Number 9. Putting too much trust in people. Again, remember, people are just people. God is God. So you've got to learn to guard your heart. Is extremely difficult for empaths. I struggle with that, but because I always follow my convictions and I'm obedient, then that keeps me ahead of the game. People are just people. So when you have people who hurt you, who betrayed you, who are disloyal, who cheated, who's talked behind your back, even though you've been the only person helping them, people who don't show gratitude, but instead they show the opposite, even when you were the right? If you don't guard your heart, that type of stuff will literally keep breaking you down and breaking you down and breaking you down until you're down, right? Guard your heart. People are just people. The only perfect individual is God. So why are we expecting people to be perfect? So now when you mess around and do this, I can't get up off of the floor for 9 years because I put all that stuff in you that really I should have put in God, right? So I can't give you, I can't feel like I can trust you 100%, right? To the point that you will never, ever, ever hurt me. That would be insanity. Because if nobody's perfect, where is the room for error? What percentage is for error? No, I'm going to trust you, but I want to trust God more that if you hurt me, it will be God who gets me through the hurt, through the pain, not you, not me. So you see, you can trust and you can love people, but you still, on the flip side, have to prepare your heart to know that people are just people. People change every day. They're fickle, right? They like you one day, they don't the next day. It's okay. Your trust should be solidified in God to that extent versus individuals. Number 10, the last one, boundaries, 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 boundaries. Learning to say no to people. Learning to understand where you are. Not operating from that broken seed of how we were conditioned, many people, to pour from empty cups. Remember, the higher you go, the more people attach themselves. And if you have not learned to say, okay, I can't do this right now. I can't respond to you right now because I got my own stuff going on. If you can't do that, it's going to drive you insane. And so God is going to look at it like, well, I opened the door because I wanted to give you increase, but now I'm realizing you can't even handle increase because you're struggling still with boundaries. If you can't do it, you can't do it. If you can't be there, you can't be there. Right? If I can't help you, I can't help you. If I can't respond to every single email, that's okay. I'm not your God. I can only be a vessel. But see, you can only get to that point once God has processed you and you understand who you are. Because when you understand who you are, you wouldn't even be pouring from an empty cup. If you're pouring from empty cups, you still have some seeds that you're struggling with and you have to work on. Could it be a state of rejection, a state of abandonment? What is causing you not to say, I can't do that, I can't get behind that, right? I can't respond to every single email. I can't respond to every single text message. I can't respond to everything. I can't. I can't. I can't. But it takes a while to get here. And that is why we've been processed so long. And this is why it's also important not to skip your processing, which I try to do every single day. And now it makes complete sense on why God doesn't pay us any attention and keep us sitting and processing until he knows we're ready, because he knows what's on the other side of that door. You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.